WeAfric is on a mission to make real change by facilitating solutions for our everyday lives. We'll be joined by professionals and influential individuals to share with you their journey and recipe for success. We ask about their methods and experience. Is it their career, their education, or is it their background? This is our secret sauce to enlighten, uplift, and empower the community where we are all special. Welcome to WeAfric Talk, where our support is our actions. If they don't believe you, tell them to subscribe to this channel. Please welcome our guest, British Champion Ashley Theophane.
Ashley, where you at? Ashley Theophane.
Here.
Right here. This is the first guy that Mayweather promotion signed that was from the UK.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Ashley Theophane. I'm from West London. I've been boxing for 17 years. And I love to go around the world.
We'd like to know about the man before we dive into your colourful boxing career.
Okay, so I'm from Paddington, and for me, like growing up, there wasn't much to do. So sometimes you get involved in stuff you should not do, and but boxing was always my love as a child. So that was my thing that kind of kept me away from the bad stuff. To me, I was just like a next kid from around the area. But sometimes it's weird because when I see now, sometimes when you're from a poor area, like you could think as a kid, I want to be this, or I want to be that. But because of the area, and you see the older ones, it's broken dreams. You were surrounded by broken dreams. I love being where I'm from, but I think it's very hard for a lot of us from around here.
As you're growing up, obviously.
Yeah.
What kind of youngster were you, like in the schools and?
For me, I think I had friends. I think I was rebellious. I was like rebellious as well. My dad was very stern. He was very strict. And he tried to keep me in line, but I was one of those kids, you could spank me, I still bad. So it was weird, like I was a nice kid, but I just like to have fun that I shouldn't have fun. A lot of folks that know me now, and we are gonna get to it, they may read my book, they will say they never knew that I was bad, when you would say bad, but it was because I was very respectful. So even though I may have done something you shouldn't do, I was very respectful to whoever I met on the street. So you would, I would say my mom and dad, they raised me to have respect for everyone. So I wasn't rude to no one. Respect your elders.
No, it's fantastic. Honestly, I think this is an example that regardless of what you do, like the upbringing is such an important factor that keeps you in the narrow. How old were you when you actually started boxing? Because you said you liked it as a child.
I was 7 years old, so I was actually 5 years old when I watched. I used to watch it. My dad. So my dad was a fan of the sport. He used to watch the sport, so I would watch with him. And then I was like, Mom, Dad, I would like to do this sport. My mom was like, no. So I because my dad would continue to watch this. For like 2 years or so, I kept on asking my mom and dad, Mom, Dad, I want to try the sport. So then my mom said to bring him to the gym, which is this gym here. So I came to this gym. And then she said to make sure he doesn't enjoy it, because she didn't want her son to get punched in the head. So I come to this gym, and I just had the best time. Like I was a little kid. And then I just had so much fun. It was the beginning of my career, you might say, as a little child. Because whenever I was here, it just felt like home to me, and I could express myself. And I met some other kids here who I would never meet.
How did your boxing career start?
So I was at All Stars from 1988. So I was here for some years. Then I went to Soul Club, that was down the road for 5 years. Then I came back home, and then I started to have some amateur fights. So I had a lot of amateur fights. I never really won anything, which was kind of weird. A lot of it was weird, because on my first pro fight, is one of the guys in charge said, why didn't I stay in the amateurs? Because I was very good. I could have went to the World Games. But it was weird. It was like my style just didn't go with the amateurs, but with the pros, I kind of shined more. And it was weird because the coach here, I always used to be in the ring and I would spar and I would do like moves that the pros do. And he would shout, Ashley, stop! You're not a professional. You're an amateur. So he always, I couldn't wait to turn professional because that was what I started with my dad. I used to watch the pros and I always wanted to be in America. So it was it's like I had to do you have to do the amateurs to get to the pro ranks, but it was like I didn't enjoy it. But from when I turned pro, it was like this is what I've always wanted to do, like to be here. So it's like you have to go through the start to get to where you want to be, and then I turned pro, and then that's where it just starts to come alive. Something that I found as a 5-year-old child has been in my life for 35 years. You know, so
it just shows that you've got that passion.
It's a long time.
No, but if you do something you like, it's not like a job.
Of course. The Brits that I liked was the Brits that went to like the USA. So you had Nigel Ben, Kirkland Lang, Lloyd Hartnaghan. So these 3 guys are like 3 of my favorite Brits because they went to the USA and they would fight. They didn't care who they would fight. So that was kind of my thing. When I turned pro on my own. And my thing was that just always give my best. Like I never knew what I would achieve because I wasn't no top amateur. But my thing within inside me was always to give my best, and what will be will be.
What advice would you give to somebody who's actually looking to get into boxing?
So for me is you go to wherever you are, there's gyms in your area because these gyms are all over the place. So you go online and just find out like where your gym is, and then you go in there and then you start. But one thing I would always say in this sport or even in life is that you have to be able to put in the work.
Yes.
Because a lot of folks they see the end result, the glitz, like I'm in the TV and stuff. But it's the work that you have. There's a lot. Whatever you do in life, it's the work you put in behind the scenes is what makes it count when you actually come to do it. So I think that's one of the things that kind of makes and breaks a lot of girls and guys who try this sport, because you have to be willing to work. You have to go running. You have to do some weights. You have to, like, it's just not you come into this gym. It's what you eat. Like it becomes your life. You know what I'm saying? So I think this sport is great because I've made friends all over the world. And but you basically have to give your life to the sport if you want to achieve anything out of it. It takes over your life.
Okay.
Which is good and bad. Depends.
But it depends on how much you really want it.
If you really want it, you give it your life. Same with Floyd Mayweather. He always used to say that he used to, when everyone would be going out and having fun with their friends, he would say he'd be in the gym. He'd be in the gym. So he was, it's weird when he would sometimes talk for hours. There was times we would leave at 4 a.m. because he would just talk. He likes to talk, but I didn't mind to hear what he was going to say because this is a man that's achieved so much. So he used to say that he used to be in the gym for so many hours. Like he was obsessed with the gym. So, and to see what this man has gone on to achieve, this is, there's no one better to learn from. You know what I mean? So when he used to speak, I would just be there.
What did you do in your spare time when you're out of the ring?
So for me, my thing that I like to do now, I like to hike. Like one of my favorite things, which I only started to do like when I was in Vegas, was to hike. Because it's so nice out there, and there's sometimes I would go on some road trips and then just go to like a next place to go and hike. So that was one of the things now. So even if I go abroad, I like to go abroad to spots where I can go for like a long walk and just see the views and stuff. So that's what I enjoyed, and I like to see my friends, my family, you know, to go watch some shows, and then, you know, I'm very kind of chill. So because I work hard, whatever I'm doing, I work hard. So sometimes I just like to, you know, to be with, you know, my friends and just kind of relax, just have a laugh and, you know, chill. Because we're only here for a certain amount of time. So I think sometimes we just want to work, and we don't appreciate like our loved ones around us, you know, because we're not going to be here like forever. So that's one thing. I like to go see my mom, I go speak with my dad, you know what I mean, because, you know, so it is what it is, man. Just try to make the most of the time. Sometimes we forget about our family or our friends because we might just have goals that we're trying to chase, and I'm just on this, man, you know what I mean. But, you know, but saying that as well, there's one thing I've always said. I've got friends all over the world, and sometimes you might go a year where you might not see them, or two years, but then you meet up and it's just like, you know what I mean, so it's nice, man, that true friendship it stays strong wherever you are in the world.
I see that you've written a book which you've got with you here, right here. So guys, if you don't know, Raised by the Hood, Ashley Theophane himself. What made you write this book? Why did you decide to write this book?
You know what's weird? So as I don't even know if I was like 12 years old, I used to read a book called The Diaries of Adrien Broner.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I was obsessed with this. I don't know who wrote it, but it was just this kid who you would read about his life, what he was doing on a day-to-day thing. So when I was like 12 years old, I used to just write about my day, like what's going on with my day. So when I started to go to the USA, like my training camps there, I used to write about what was going on in the camp, like how I would feel, what I was like I'm doing. And then I got to be with Floyd, and I was like British Champion. So it's like years of me just saying what's in my mind, what I'm doing the day to day. So it's kind of like you see what this man can achieve from just doing what he wants, you know what I mean, just having goals and stuff. So just that alone is crazy, like to think that this guy who was in jail, that he comes out of jail, he says he's going to be a good guy, and then he just puts everything into it. And then he had a dream of going to the USA, like to fight. He flies over to the USA, and then he just kind of pursues his goals, and then he ends up with Floyd Mayweather. So that's basically, the book is kind of like that. It doesn't matter where you start, that doesn't mean that's where you end. And I've done it all on my own, so I had no like support. So there's some mistakes in there because it's not what I do, but it's
that just shows the realism of
no, of course, but it's also, again, it's like I didn't know anything about like doing a book. But you know what I mean, I just looked online, and I just brought everything together, and the book's here now. And I made this book as well because sometimes I go to speak in schools. And I wanted to be able to bring this book with me as proof of what I've done, and then to leave it for a lot of these kids that I too was doing the bad stuff that you may be doing now, and I thought this is all my life was ever going to be. But then I changed my life, and again I've been helped by so many folks who saw something in me, and they wanted to help me at stages in my life, which this book, again, like I say like this guy, that guy, that they helped me, and at the time that they helped me, sometimes I argued with them because I was like, where I'm from, we don't help each other. Why you, like, what do you want? So I was had my back up about folks who just wanted to help. So it's interesting from that view as well. So this was a book that I wanted to get done, to more say to help the kids that's going on now with all this 9-year crime, because I believe it can like help or save like a few of them.
No, I think you've done an amazing job, honestly. To be frank, we've only read a little bit of it. And it's a true kind of reflection of that in our society, if you get some help, you have the determination, you have the drive, you'll achieve anything. And I think, all our views out there, Raised by the Hood by Ashley Theophane, please support. Just get yourself a copy. It's a true testament to the great champion that Ashley is. So we've got our copy. We're just waiting for you to get your copy. And just leave your comments down below and let us know what you think of the book. When you're going through the adversity, what kept you going to realize that you have to get to your dreams, and what was the motivation?
That's a good one, because it's weird. There were so many stages in my career where I was like, there was times I couldn't get no fights, I wasn't getting paid, I didn't have a job. So there was loads of times that I didn't have no cash, you got to pay bills. So there's moments where I felt like I should quit. And it's just so weird, like at each of these times where I felt like I should quit, something round, big would go down. Because 2009 was very slow, I could not get fights here. So again, I went to the USA, and then I got a big fight with the world #3. I went on to beat him.
Wow.
So then I was up there in the world now, and then that's how I got to be British champion, because the promoter saw that I was now world #4, and they wanted my world ranking. So then I came back home, beat the British champion, which they thought I would not beat, and then I was in there again. And then I lost that British, I think it was after 18 months, can't get no fights there again. What do I do? This is 2012 now, so I can't get no fights there. So I'm like, oh damn. Last year I went to Floyd's gym, and he was so cool to me that I thought, you know what, I'm gonna fly back there and see if I can get on his team. And then I fly back to Floyd's gym, and then the first day there, and it was weird. Floyd meets so many folks, and exactly a year had gone by, and I stepped in his gym and said, oh, you can't come back. So a whole year had went by, and the man remembered me, and I was only in his gym for 2 weeks. And so then I was there, and I stayed there for a month, and then it went so well, he started to say that he wants to help me. My advisor, Rene, he helped me to stay there. So again, people come in your life to help you. And I couldn't afford to be there at that time, but this man, he paid for my hotel bill there to make sure that I could stay there to get onto Floyd's team. So I stayed there for a month. And then when Floyd had his fight with Robert Guerrero, straight after the fight, he sees me in the crowd, and he had loads of reporters around him. And he said, Ashley, come. So I went over to him, and he said, yeah, I got guys from all over the world, this is my guy, blah, blah, blah. And that's the first time that I knew that I was signed to Floyd, because he said, yeah, this is my guy, So I was like, wow, I just can't believe it went down. And the thing was, at that stage, if I didn't get onto Floyd's team, it was 2013 then, I would have had to retire because I couldn't get no fights here. So my career was basically done. So this man signed me, didn't have to sign me because he's a big star. I'm like little Ashley Theophane. And then he said he's going to sign me. And then that's where he basically changed my life. You know what I mean? Because then the next fight that he gave me was the most cash I've ever seen in my life at that point in time. So this was a man who wanted to help. And then again, the first fight that he gave me, I lost. So then the man say, Floyd is going to fight Canelo, big show, and he said, Ashley, you are going to open up the pay-per-view. So I was like, wow, thanks. But then this was my big deal. It was a dream come true. So also now, Britain didn't care about me, but then I was on Sky Sports, the newspapers all over the place. This British guy's over there with Floyd Mayweather. So everyone wants to know me again. And then as it goes. So, but this shows who Floyd is against. So he put me on the big stage because he believed in me. I lost a split decision. So he easily could have said, yeah, this guy's not as good as I believe he is. He thought I could go on to fight for the world belt. But I lost my first fight like, with him, so he could have said bye. But he said, Ashley, we're gonna take our time and you're gonna get. I always try to think out of the box, like it's not going well like right now. What can I do to kind of give me a boost?
Yeah.
So hence, like when I left Mayweather Promotions, I was with them for 5 years. I had great time there. And then if I was coming back home, there's not much for me here.
Yeah.
So I was never shown love here. So for me, it was like, I'm gonna do a world tour.
Okay.
So then I went on a 2-year world tour, fought 10 times in 9 countries, and I had a great time. Okay. So you know what I'm saying, I could have stayed here and been sad, but I said no. I'm gonna go around the world. I'm gonna fight all over the world. And while I was having fights around the world, and promoters, they started to see what I was doing. Yeah. They started to come to me and ask me, so I started to have choice, like where I want to fight. So that was nice. So and then afterwards, the world tour was done, and then now it's to start the gym. So for me, to keep my mind, I always have to set new goals, and then it's to work towards that. So that's kind of kept how I keep going.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow, it shows the kind of character you are. You know? Yeah. You always have something else in mind, or the next step. Yeah. So you have one step, and then you always keep stepping up, which is amazing. And when you're doing the world tour, was that what was your favorite place? And I know you fought in Ghana, you fought in UAE. There's a couple of places. I
think Ghana was great because they just kind of opened up their arms, like I said, you're home. Okay. So that was nice to go there because I'm Caribbean. You know, my dad, my mom, I'm Caribbean. So to go there, and I informed my dad while I was there, and I said to him, it was like being back home. It was the same kind of vibe. And they was just so great, and they made me feel at home. So that one there was a great show for me to be part of. And also when I went to Dubai, it was my friend's show from Mayweather Promotions. So it was nice. I met him there with one of my best friends in the USA, and he wanted to he's now opened up a promotions. I'm doing a show, do you want to be on it? I was like, yeah, great. And I went over there, and I had my fight and I won. But when I stood back and I saw what he had put together, it was a great show, and I was just kind of proud of him. It's nice when you see your friends achieve goals as well. Yeah. So it's great for me to achieve my goals, but it's also nice to see my friends set goals or whatever, and to see it come true, and to see them do a great job. So that's one thing about me, and I think it's good that you surround yourself with friends that want to see you win. Because then you help each other, and there's no envious, you know what I mean? If he's winning now, he's gonna motivate me to do well. Yes. You know what I'm saying? If I'm seeing my friends are doing well, it's to me, it's I'm not gonna hate on them. I'm gonna be I gotta get on my grind. I gotta what is next for me. So I always think it's good to surround yourself with that good vibes, where everyone has got their own goals, and you just bounce off each other. So it's great to see my guys win. So yes, that was one of the best shows that I fought on as part of the world tour.
And what was your friend's name?
Badu Jack.
Badu
Jack. So he does a lot of great work with his foundation as well. So he goes around and he helps a lot of these kids in in war-torn spots. So he's doing some great work, and very proud of him.
You still train at the moment in terms of?
I stay in shape. I always think that it's good that you stay in shape. I haven't retired yet, but I don't care if I fight it or not, because my main kind of goal now is to have it for my gym. But as of now, we can't really open up a gym now. It's just kind of hard time. So I've had in the interest to fight again, but I don't really know, because my goal is, my mind is on my gym and just trying to help out these kids and stuff. Because for me, I think the sport does so much good stuff for kids in need, or kids that just need help. And So I kind of want to do that. I've had my career, I've achieved my goals. So now my mind is now to help out these kids and you know, to try to help them in their life, you know.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. And what's the situation with the gym?
So the gym, like currently now, it's just trying to find spots now, but it's not even. I found one spot, but it's not even. You don't want to take on the gym like right now because they could shut. So, so I'm not trying to pay rent when we're not even there. So as of now, I just train like the kids I got. I just train them in the park, and I train at all stars as well. So like it's all good, you know what I mean. So until it calms down, I'm not gonna like, you know, I'm still gonna look, but I'm not gonna get the place because it's not the best time to try to get a premises.
Okay, excellent stuff. Obviously, you trained with Mayweather.
Yeah.
What's the difference in intensity? Because obviously.
So when I was like British champion, I would be in the gyms in New York, and my coach would always be, Ashley, training too hard, rest. And then when I went to Vegas and I saw Floyd train, it was like, I train, like, it's weird. When you've never seen a man train so hard, and that's all you know, then you would think that, that I train hard. But when you see this man train in the flesh, it's just like a next world. So, like, to be part of his team for 5 years and to see him compete for 3 years was, it was like seeing the Ali of our time, because he's the great of our time. And so for me, I learned so much of Floyd, to training, to, you know, like certain things that he would do. A lot of his team would implement that in their training. But also, he always thanks his team. So even though he's the star, he always says that this guy here or this girl done that. So that's one thing that I like about Floyd, is that he always praises the team that helped him achieve his goals.
Okay.
So that's another thing, you know, you have to make your team feel like they're doing a great job. Because if they feel they're doing a great job, they will do it more for you. You know what I mean? So for me, that was great. And just being around, you know, I think he gets a hard thing because they see it, he does like I don't know, he's changed his watches. He says it's worth this much mil. That's him, that's his work for it. He's achieved that. He came from a bad place in life and he just turned that upside down. So I think he should inspire like loads of other kids to do that. And he also gives to like his community, to his family, his friends. No, like, he didn't know me, but he said, actually, that I want to sign you to help you. So, I think of a lot of the guys that Floyd has signed, he's helped change their life, because a lot of them, they came from a bad place. There was one guy, he just signed him because he wanted him to be able to make cash for his wife and his kid.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, he even said, like, I remember once he said, you all won't be world champions, but I just want to make sure that you can provide for your family. Wow. So, you know, there's some people who do like work and they film what they're doing, which is great. But he just does what he does and he doesn't say it. You know what I mean? Like when I was like first part of his team, like he bought, I think there was 10 of us on the team at the time. He bought all of us a car to get around in town. It was a brand new car, like so. You know what I mean? He spent like $500,000 to buy a smaller car. Like that's nice. Like you don't have to do that. So yeah. So for me, it was great.
You know, we've got a lot of young kids out there who you obviously been training since you've been back, and you know you're doing an amazing job here and outside. Any last words for them in terms of any advice, any ways that we can approach things on a daily basis?
My thing is for the young ones, get a mentor. I think mentors do great jobs and can help you and have the experience that you don't have. So I think that's one of the best things that they can do, because you may want to do something, but you don't know what to do. You get a mentor that's been where you want to be, and they can help your path. So I think one thing for kids or for like young adults, they should get a mentor. That's what I would say. That would be my advice. With hard work, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you've raised a lot of key points there that, you know, you have to be driven, you have to make sure you know what the end goal is.
Yeah.
You've got to stay on track,
Yeah.
you know, regardless of what kind of adversity you get. So I think, you know, coming from Ash himself, guys, if you don't believe it, then ask the man. You know? So where can people find you in terms of...
It's Ashley Theophane .com. Got Ashley Theophane online. You know, I'm everywhere. So just type my name and then it'll come up. So yeah, I'm online.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to say thank you, Ash. It's been an incredible experience for me personally. Just to understand your mindset, your journey, just everything. Some of the points you raised resonated with me clearly because obviously I've also come from a similar background. And we're just trying to do more positive things to give back to society and our community. So, you know, Ash,
my man.
what do you think about the WeAfric project?
I think WeAfric is doing a great thing. I've even spoken to friends about it because we are scattered all over the world.
Yeah.
And if there's one place where we can all come together, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it's taken only to now to do it. So I think it's going to be great. I am because we are WeAfric.
We hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. Be part of the WeAfric family